Okay, I think it's time to start. So I just checked the speed because last time the speed was dropping, and then because of the internet, I think it is service provider issues. Sometimes the internet connection was the speed just goes drop and then not really recovering in like a few minutes or so. Yeah. So anyway, I think the audio is going out okay and everything looks okay. So okay, let me start. So hi, my name is Min, and this program is provided by Vancouver Daily newspaper and by myself, which is Pondered. Okay. So that I was thinking that as we gone through before as the one that directly going into the building concepts and connecting concepts. But one thing that I think I need to address before I go on. So basically, this is the one that we're gonna go through. Uh, but the building concepts and the connecting concepts, I think I didn't make a clear differences, right? So what I'm going to do is today I'm going to go through a little bit of the building concept and then a little bit of the connecting concept, but not using these books as a reference. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you just basic approaches with it, and then once that is done, then I'm going to go through one by one, we're using the books that actually showing that step by step what you need to do and why you need to do. And once you do that with the building concept and connecting concepts, then I'm going to move on to the actual training material. But as I said before, that end of the June, I think it's about third week of the June that I'm going to stop this streaming and taking break. Actually, basically that's where the break is coming from, and that's June, right? So yeah, I think one, two, three, four. I probably fourth week. I'm going to go on until the June. Yeah, so because June we have Friday is 25th, so yeah, up to the 25th, I think that this stream will go on, and then July and August I'm going to take a break because I have a lot. I'm catching up most of the things in during that time, and then coming back on September, where well, it's a regular school schedule. My teaching schedule in a university is different, so it's like a 4 terms per year, so it's going pretty fast. But for this the streaming, I'm going to follow the regular school schedule. Regular meaning that all pretty much all the secondary school and the university, many of the university setup is like a 2 terms per year, right? So 3 terms, 2 terms, or something like that. So anyway, during the summer it's like a break, so I'm taking break as well. Now, uh, because of that, so for now, what I suggest is that go to this website, ponder.ca, and then if you go to the publication and books, then you will get into the books, and then download them because I will because once you download them, this is a basic the structure that you need to follow, and then this is the easiest ones. And then based on that, whenever the topic is a little bit different, then I'm going to add the topic on so that you can get wider angles of when you're studying. So it will include how to start studying, and it will also include how to read and you can utilize the references, right? So you need to read books and then sometimes you have to analyze them and then you have to rewrite those things to for the papers and those kind of things. So reading is one of the part that you have to do as well. So the way of the reading and the way of studying and everything will be included for the basic wise, okay? So that's what the plan is about, okay? Now, today I'm going to show you the differences from building concepts and connecting concepts and in your study. Okay, so I'm going to make it as a school study. So basically, the if you are a secondary school students or university students, even graduate students, you can still apply those things to the schoolwork. Okay, if you are a like a already graduated and then you are the one that are working in a professional field or only one of your business or working in a company, then you can use these as well. But one of the suggestion is that because of the project or the business is kind of set up in a way that everything is combined together, uh, you might want to have a separate topic to train yourself and then gradually apply that to your business or anything that you're doing in your life. Okay, so that's one of the part that I wanted to address before start. Now, the building concept and connecting concept. Let me see. Where's the pen? Right here. Yeah. Building concepts, and let me make the video smaller because I need more room to write. And actually, you don't need to see me, right? This video is mostly the one that I'm turning on the video is that uh, when I started online classes from the when I teach in the university, there's some of the suggestions were like if an instructor's video is not on, then students should kind of lose their tracks or something. And actually, from during the class when my video is frozen, then students are complaining saying that okay, you are not moving, and so I had to fix that and to make it the real time goes on. So the some sort of like a movement or the actual face had to be there to increase the efficiency. That's what I was kind of have. So that's why I'm turning on the video in here and showing you my face in here. But it doesn't have to be large, right? So it could be small. So now, anyway, the building concepts, this is a province, BC province. This is the building concepts, okay? So building concepts and connecting concepts are two different things, okay? Building concept you can think of in this way. The topic in given books that you will I'm going to based on is water. So I'm going to use water as a topic. For the water, building concept is something like this. In the water, for example, like I'm holding cups with water right now, and you can actually observe and you can actually see what's in here, right? Then you can take a look at it and you can go on, say, when you taste it, then there's no taste. Unless you put something in here, right? If you put some sugars or something, then that's different story. But water itself, like a pure water itself, then no taste. And smell, if I smell, there's no smell. And when I see it, there's no color or something like that. Now, with this information, as you can see, taste, smell, color, these are all separate. Well, these are based on five senses. Yeah? Five senses meaning that in your body, the information comes in. It is connected because it goes into your brain and then you are analyzing, you are processing the information inside of your brain to analyze what's going on in with water or the surroundings that you are looking at. But in terms of water itself, the topic is the water, then water itself is not connected with, well, it is connected with taste, but taste and the smell and the color, these are not connected each other yet. Okay? They are not connected yet. Well, they will be, and if once that you continuously go on, because the interpretation is happening inside of the brain. So basically, a brain will link those kind of different concepts in together. So building concept is based on this. you are exploring the differences in here. For example, in case of not in case of water, not taste or smell, or let's just remove them. Okay. In case of river or lake or cloud or something like that, these are all ice in the mountain, or these are all different concepts. Okay. Now, what you need to do is later on, you have to build the concepts of each of them, like a taste as a taste and smell as a smell, color, snow, and everything. You have to build the concepts before you start anything. You have to go deeper. And I'm going to give you the example. And then once you build the concept, once you built the concept, for example, then now it is time to connect it. River, lake, how to connect it. Lake and cloud, or lake and ocean, cloud and ocean, or something like that. You started connecting the concepts. Okay, these are the key functions. So building concept, well, inside of the building concept, it is you need to make a connections. But the when you build it, you will start from the separate topics because observation based on your five senses. So when you touch the water, then you will feel wet or something like that, right? So you have separate topics in there, and then you need to build separately. As you build, then what will happen is you're gonna make a connection in there. So building concept also you need to make a connections, but because the topic are kind of like separated like this, so this is categorized as a building concept. This is the easiest way, and this is the first level you need to do whenever you bring up the topics. Okay, let me give you one example with this one in terms of learning. Okay, so for example, let's say you're learning, okay, in class and about World War II. And World War II and German invaded and attacked, let's say England, right? This is actually one of the story. And when German attack, they selected one of the harbor. Let's say this is a harbor. I don't remember the name. Okay, so let's say this is a harbor, and they destroyed the harbor, right? Then what generally you are learning from the school, if it is the knowledge is simply delivering the class, then your teachers or instructors will just go like, okay, German in certain month, they send out the Air Force and then they destroy the A harbor. Yeah, this is what you will learn. But when someone teaches like this, then what you need to do is you need to question if you want to really learn something. Why? Because with this information, let's say you memorize it and think about it. What what will it do in your future? Only thing you can do is you can repeat what they did, what happened in the past. Historically, yes, this is what happened, and then yes, that shows that you know about the history. But this information will not do anything much for you in your life. Where are you going to use it? What can you do with this information other than just simply repeating it? This is where the similarity is coming from, right? Similarity is coming from because there's nothing for you to really utilize. You can change something. Only thing that you can change is then what did England do after? And what happened after? You have to constantly keep following the added new information that what happened. But that's not the way of developing your brain. Okay? So in order to develop your brain, what you need to do is you need to find the reasons. Reasonings is the one. Then some of the instructors or teachers will provide this information with reasons and saying that, okay, take a look at here. England, the A harbor is in the core where all the land traffic is merging and marine traffic is going in and out, and this is the largest one. And because of that, there's the military bases around in here. So by destroying it, they're gonna cut the transportation in and out, and then these will go isolated, and the marine, the military in the Marine Corps or whatever that you call it, they are isolated. Then it is easier to target them because the supplies will be the blocked and blah 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 because of geographical characteristic, and then because of the marine or the some of the marine conditions or something like that goes into all the reasons together. When someone teaches like this, then your brain will take up the information easily because all the concepts, this is a conceptualized one, but this is not conceptualized by you. It's not. It is conceptualized by the instructor or the teachers and provided by to you. And then in this case, you can easily copy and paste, right? Then at least if you learn something that is conceptualized, then what you can do is you can, if you face some similar situation, for example, let's say you are setting up the strategy how you are dealing with marketing, and then you try to in the future that you have your own company and you're trying to set up the strategy, then you will try to look for where the links coming and where's the bottleneck is, and then you try to tackle those type of the bottlenecks just like in here. Then you can apply it, right? So you can apply it in the similar situations, but still the problem is that this doesn't really give you the brain development of the brain that you can use in the future, which is creative thinking. So creative meaning that you need to come up with some of the novel idea to explore something new. So let's say you learned about the strategy in a computer market. Then in the computer market, you can use it because you learned the concepts. And if especially the instructors and teachers are really conceptualize all these processes and delivering it in interior concepts in there, then you will copy and paste from instructors. Still, you can make differences, but still it is limited because your application will be in the same field. So if it is computer field, then you can do it in the computer field. But problem is you cannot explore something new, creative area. You cannot move on to that direction. Why? Because this is the concepts that you didn't build. Okay, so building concept is for you to train you to make the building concepts. Then the question is how this building concept connected with creative thinking. This is a how. Okay, so no, not this one. Oh, yeah. Building concept is based on observation. Well, you will start with the questions to observe. So questions to observe is the first step you will see. Without this is a training for your brain to get ready to whenever you see something, then if you cannot approach with anything that you can think of, for example, you looked at like this cup for the first time because you time traveled from the Stone Age, and then now you came into the this world, and then you never seen this cup made of glasses, right? So for the first time you observe, then what you need to do, sometimes the problem is that your brain stuck, and then you cannot really think about how to approach it. This is where panic is coming from. When people face new things or new situation, their brains freezes, okay, their brain frozen, and then once their brain is frozen, then now they cannot really think through what to do. That's where the question to observe is coming from. Use your five senses and make the questions, and you generate the questions based on that. Then you can start observing it. That's the first step. Okay. But generally, when I go through with the some of the topics, I might skip this question to observe. But you need to always start with the questions to observe. That's the first step. And once you observe it, what you need to do is you need to describe it. Description looks like a very simple, and you might say, okay, I see no color. Should I describe it? Yes, you should. The reason is these are the data. For the water, no color, no taste, no smell. This is the data you can start with. And then you need to expand from here, and you can gradually increase your ideas about water one by one. Okay, that's why you need to describe it. Don't skip the description. And because once you, this will be the writing uh, writing practices at the same time presentation practices, because you need to later on you need to merge them, and then you need to change them, you need to connect them, and then you need to make them make sense of out of these stories. Okay, so this is a training for the presentation and writing, so don't skip the description part. In as I go on with it, I might skip the description part because this is actually what you need to do, right? So I might skip that the description part, but anyway, yeah, so you shouldn't skip this description part. Now, once you describe them, for example, let's say uh, no taste, no smell, no color, you need to merge and describe in one whole sentence. Okay, so once again, this is for your writing skills, and this is for your presentation skills. And when you are, it will make up your brain to think through, and then later, especially like if you have these descriptions and leave it for like about a week, and then when you come back, read it, then you'll find that there's a logical connection is missing. Then that's the time you need to add them. Okay, that's what this part is about. So you shouldn't skip the writing part, but in because of this stream that these lectures that I'm not gonna go into the how to merge. I'm going to just give you some of the idea. Merge and the describe and merge them, and then put it into another description is on your own. Okay, unless the well, that can be only be done in the classroom setting where I provide the homework to do, and then when student comes in with the results, then analyze them and then provide it again, and something like that. That's only hands-on training in the classroom. So that part won't be here, but you have to you should do it in that way. Okay. Now then, once this is merged, then what's the the real part of the creativity is coming from? Creativity is not just coming from anywhere. Only the way that you systematically make these connections, and then you describe it, then in the end you will start to see that there's a differences in there. Okay, for example, let me go back to the all the example you probably had before. If you watched this from biology lectures, then probably you had this before. So which is birds in winter, and let me show you with images like this. Yeah, right here. Let me get the most. Well, let's take a look at this image. Okay. Yeah. So This is showing the birds in the winter, and if you watch the biology lectures, then you probably remember what this means, right? So this is the one that is showing that birds have their legs without insulation, and but body is insulated, so body must be kept warm, but the legs should be frozen, but they were okay. They were surviving, right? Then question comes in, then how? Why? Or something like that, right? These are the questions out of the curiosity, okay? So out of curiosity, you started asking these questions, but I don't really say this is as a curiosity questions because this is just a premature in thinking processes because this is the first step. You observe and you describe and you all of a sudden you find it out. There's oh, these legs are exposed to the cold winter, cold temperature. How could they survive? And this is a simple observation based. So it is curiosity, but from my perspective view, the curiosity should come from the more likely simulation. But that's a different story. I'm going to show you that the differences in a second. Okay. So when you come up with these type of questions, then this is comes from mostly direct observation. Direct observation meaning that when you describe it, you could come up with this direct observation. And now how you can do? You can find the answers. How? Well, experiment. Dissection is the in the biology lab. The dissection is in there, right? The reason that they have dissection is to find the answer right there. You just cut them off and then see how their body is structured. Now, okay, this is the coming from direct observation, but you have to think about here. If you're the one for the first time, this answer is already out there, right? So scientists already find it out, and then they explain the why the bird's legs are okay, even they are not insulated. Now, the key point is from here is that if you find it out, then, well, let's say if you started asking these questions and then you find it out from direct observation, even this is just from building concepts, observation based, what you can do, you can still be a scientist, well-known scientist, because you're discovering very new, novel concept that how birds' legs are designed, made, kept warm in the during the winter, right? So direct observation, even if it is a direct observation, if you come up with questions of why and how, then you will be able to move to the top, do the research. This is where the research is coming from. Okay, so this is that powerful, and because of that, the creative thinking coming from the building concept is from the education that I'm providing. This is the first level of the one, but still this is that powerful. You could be the one that doing the research. You could be the one that coming up with a new idea, and then once you find the new the answers to that, that answer will stay in your brain forever because it is you who found it. Okay. So what that means is that when you study, okay, when you study, you have to turn everything into the building concepts. Okay, building concept is that powerful and that important because this is the one that will provide pretty much every the concepts that you know of. And it will take some time. When we are going through with the water as an example in the one in the books that you Arcana or you download it, then I'm going to show you that how it goes. In the beginning, it looked like nothing. Well, colorless. So what? And the smell? Well, so what, right? But as you go into one more step further, then you will be able to find it out that your brain is really stuck in somewhere in the first level. Because think about it. What is the taste? How do you does your tongue recognize each different taste and how do you interpret it? That's the next step. Okay, so it's gonna be very complicated. So beginning is very simple and you will say, oh, that's nothing. I can do it. Well, wait and see what happens in the next level. Okay, but you have to start from the beginning. That's what I'm going to show you from next week, the next topic, which is building concepts with the one with this what is it? The books that I building concept books from here to with the example of the water. Okay. Now, second part is connecting concept. Okay. So connecting concept is something like this. Connecting concept is like coming with some of the idea with the. This is the same level as the research topic, but when something is created from here, then everything is very totally different. Okay, so creative thinking in the connected concept is something like well, I already gave an example, right? Steve Jobs or Wright brothers, the airplane. So Steve Jobs' case, what he did is that in the beginning, in the study that you will see that what I show you throughout these lectures is connecting concept in some of the topics that you can connect easily. Okay, that means that it is already connected. Building concept is the same thing. The To be a creative thinking, you have to find something that has not been discovered. In order to be able to create something to that is new, what you need to do is you need to explore that has been already done. Otherwise, you don't know, right? You don't know if it already has been done or not. Let's say for the in terms of the birds that you saw. Even if you come up with that new idea, that's how you train your creative thinking. But if someone already found that why the bird's legs are not frozen in even in the winter, in the freezing temperature, even if you find it out, then there's someone already did. So that doesn't really count in the reality. So it is a training material. So what that means is that when you're building concepts, you are not gonna actually go and then cut the birds and then the open it up and see that what happens. Okay, what you need to do is you need to bypass them by using the brain and constantly build the concept. That's how you go on. You don't experience by yourself. You know, cut it open and then dissect it and then to find the answer is experience based. But with the experience, you can learn all the things, all these like a variety, like a textbook is like about this thick, right? In the contents, a lot of them. You're not going to be able to explore every single things and then by doing that, right? So in that case, what you need to do is you need to bypass this experiment. So you need to question and come up with a question, observe and describe by yourself, and then you need to question based on your description, and you constantly train yourself in this way. And then when you are really curious about it, then easy. You just go on the internet and then use the search engine and then find the answer. This time, most important part is up to the point where the question is coming from. And then when you find the answers, then you just take a look at the methodology. How do they find the answers? Well, I'm going to show you how to do it once they with the real the materials that we are going to deal with. Okay, so this is how it goes. Okay, so basically what you need to do is this in the beginning it's gonna be slower, but this is the fastest way to build the concept. And once you are able to build the concept by yourself, then you will be able to think creatively. And then once you are able to think creatively, then now you are ready to explore the to find the answers. In that case, you just simply look for the whoever did the new the approaches in similar topics and adopt it, and then you modify it relatively easy and simple. So doing research in university is not that difficult if you learn how to do this. For me, it was very challenging and difficult because I didn't learn, no one taught me, well, there's no one actually able to teach these methods to be a someone like who can do the research or who can find some of the develop new ideas based on the observation and descriptions. But now you have the tools. Connecting concept is a little bit different. As I said, the example I'm going to give you here because I'm going to show you the example with the material in the books that in building concept actually has one of the example, and connecting concept also has an example, and that's the what I'm going to show you in there. Now, in this case, connecting concept is because it is a training material, everything will be known. So what you need to train yourself is after how to connect and how to question. That's the first one that you need to focus. And then once you question, then to explore how other people found out, and then take up yours because if you do all the entire experiment, that'll take like a what? So tens of years or something like that because each research result is coming like a different from different labs and different researchers, and they work on like about few years or few months to few years and to come up with some of the idea that how to explain those kind of things. So you won't spend that much, right? So the key function is up to the questioning, and then you find it out how they did, and then you just get ready how you can deal with it in the future. Now, but when it comes to the creative thinking is then this. Let's say as like a Steve Jobs did, font on the typography and computer. You just make the connection question. How do I put the typography into the computer? Anything you have, you can ask these type of questions. And you started working on it to find the methods. So this is actually to find the methods to connect. Once you are able to find, then that's yours. As I said from the before, that let's say you are a singer, and then you are a rapper. You are you are the singing, you're a rapper. So you go like a da 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 or something like that. And all of a sudden you've started thinking, how do I connect this rap song with opera? Okay, right? And then you try to figure out how to make a connection, and you connect it. And putting select one of the opera song, and then you add the rap in the middle and then see how it goes, then you are opening up the new field, just like what Steve Jobs did. This is creative thinking. So until the time you are ready to connect something that people never connected together, then this is the time you are creating something new, right? By connecting it. This is when once the building concept is done, and then once the you learn how to make the connections, then creative thinking to make the connections like Steve Jobs is not that difficult. Okay. The reason that that part is difficult is because building concept, the basic level, is not really fully developed. in order to develop, make the concepts, you have to have a full understanding of the rap, well, in case of your, let's say you're trying to put the rap song with the opera, then you have to have a full concept of the opera and rap at the same time, right? If you just only focusing, I'm a rapper, I don't do opera, then you won't be able to really make the connections. Okay, so that's the difference. Now, there's one more. It's already 5:10. Which is, let me just go briefly. Which is hypothesis-based, the hypothesis-based thinking. This creative thinking. Okay, this is what I named hypothesis-based. So let me give you with an example. Einstein's relativity theory is kind of difficult to explain in a short period of time, but this is easy and simple. So for example, let's say there's an Earth, and then the this is what Newton was thinking, right? Hypothesis. He had observation and descriptions also, right? So he threw a ball, and it lands in like about 10 meters, and use the cannon or something. It goes further, like about few like a miles, 1 mile, two couple of miles or something like that, right? And then now, if these are the observation, but this thinking doesn't stop here, and then it's already 5:11. So if you have any questions, you can type on the chat, okay? Because I'm wrapping up in a second. Now, try to think that, okay, what happens if the power is more than enough to go like a circle the Earth once, right? What kind of power? There's a rocket that doesn't exist, right? There's a artificial satellite that doesn't exist. The upper layer of the atmosphere in the outer space, what it look like? Probably Newton didn't have a clear idea because he never seen that the people floating in the without gravity floating around. He probably never seen it before, right? So to do this, you need a simulation function. To do the simulation, you have to have hypothesis questions out of hypothesis, the hypothesized questions, which is you just predict it, what happens. Okay, okay, if this happens, then if should I if I change one of the factor, then what will happen? How it's gonna be vary? Something like in COVID-19, when there's a variant comes in, then, well, if the variant, the COVID-19, if they are mutating fast, then how will they be mutated in turning into if the density, human population density is high or something like that. These are the hypotheses, right? It's not theory. Theory is something that is confirmed. So you have to separate. People kind of confuse using the term that hypothesis with the theory, but you have to clarify now. Theory is something that is confirmed. Hypothesis is not something confirmed. It is just a hypothesis, meaning that all the possibilities that you need to open it up. And Newton's this idea is one of the hypotheses until it comes true as an artificial satellite. Okay, so this is well, human brain has another function, one higher level, but that's not we are not gonna talk about. But the here hypothesis-based creative thinking questions, if you are able to do it, then you'll be the one who draw out just like a artificial satellite concept, which will be coming true in few next years. Then you're gonna be the one that famous in the history, right? Yeah. Okay, so it's already 5:14, so I'm gonna wrap up. Since there's no questions, I'm going to finish up here. But so this is how the brain is working and how your study will progress in step by step. So you will have to think about it. And now I suggest you go read through the books and then get ready, and I will show you that how it is designed, and with that examples, then that's the basics, and then we are gonna move on to the actual training material outside of the books that I listed and examples in the books. Okay, all right then, I'll finish up here. I'll meet you next week.